The military landscape in Europe as of 2026 reflects a combination of long-standing powers, ongoing modernization efforts, and the impacts of recent conflicts like the war in Ukraine. Rankings draw primarily from sources such as the Global Firepower Index, GFP, which evaluates over 60 factors including manpower, airpower, land forces, naval strength, logistics, financials, geography, and technological capabilities. A lower power index score indicates greater overall strength. While 2026 specific full rankings are in the process of finalization on some platforms, current assessments, building on 2025 data with updates for spending increases, equipment deliveries, and operational realities, place Russia at the top of European militaries, followed by a mix of NATO heavyweights and emerging forces. Russia remains the continent's dominant conventional military power despite heavy attrition in Ukraine. Its vast land forces, artillery stockpiles, nuclear arsenal, the largest globally, and ability to sustain high-intensity warfare give it an edge in raw scale. Active personnel hover around 1.3 to 1.5 million, with massive reserves, thousands of tanks, even after losses, still the largest armored fleet in Europe, and advanced systems like hypersonic missiles. Air and naval branches, while challenged, maintain strategic depth through submarines and long-range aviation. Defense spending has surged, though sanctions limit some high-tech imports. Overall, Russia's power index positions it far ahead in Europe for sheer warfighting potential in a prolonged conflict. The United Kingdom holds a strong second place among European nations. It benefits from cutting-edge technology, including F-35 stealth fighters, advanced submarines, with Trident nuclear missiles, and 2 aircraft carriers. The Royal Navy provides global power projection unmatched by most peers, while cyber and intelligence capabilities, via GCHQ alliances, add asymmetric advantages. Active forces are smaller, around 140,000 to 150,000, but high training standards, NATO integration, and recent investments in drones and AI elevate its ranking. The UK excels in quality over quantity, with a focus on expeditionary operations. France ranks closely behind, often trading places with the UK depending on the metric. As Europe's only other nuclear power, with submarine-launched ballistic missiles, it maintains independent strategic deterrence. The French military features the Rafale fighter, the Charles de Gaulle carrier, an expeditionary experience from Africa and the Middle East. Modernization programs like Scorpion enhance networked warfare, while a defense budget exceeding 2% of GDP supports overseas bases and rapid deployment. Active personnel number around 200,000 to 250,000, with strong emphasis on special forces and naval projection. Turkey secures a top spot due to its large active army, over 350,000, domestic defense industry, drones like Bayraktar TB2, Altai tanks in development, and strategic location bridging Europe and Asia. Its air force includes F-16s, with upgrades ongoing, and naval forces are expanding with corvettes and submarines. Experience in Syria, Libya, and Nagorno-Karabakh demonstrates combat effectiveness, though tensions with NATO allies occasionally complicate interoperability. Italy follows with a balanced force emphasizing quality equipment and NATO contributions. Active personnel exceed 160,000, supported by Eurofighter Typhoons, FREMM frigates, and a growing drone fleet. Italy's defense industry, Leonardo, produces advanced systems, and its navy ranks among Europe's strongest for Mediterranean operations. Investments in cyber defense and peacekeeping add versatility. Germany, Europe's economic powerhouse, has accelerated rearmament since 2022. The €100 billion special fund boosts procurement of F-35s, Eurofighters, Puma IFVs, and air defense systems. Active forces stand around 180,000, with plans for expansion. While historically underfunded, recent commitments, aiming for 2% GDP spending, and industrial base position it higher, though readiness issues persist. Poland has risen dramatically, emerging as one of Europe's fastest-growing military powers. Massive investments, over 4% of GDP on defense, fund Abrams tanks, HIMARS, F-35s, Apache helicopters, and K2, K9 artillery from South Korea. Active personnel approach 200,000, with goals for 300,000+ bolstered by conscription revival and border fortifications. Proximity to threats drives high readiness and NATO's eastern flank leadership. Ukraine, battle-hardened after years of conflict, ranks high in operational experience and innovation. Active forces exceed 700,000 to 900,000, including mobilized reserves, with Western-supplied systems like Patriot, NASAMS, Leopard tanks, and F-16s enhancing capabilities. Drone warfare mastery and asymmetric tactics compensate for resource constraints, though sustainability depends on aid. Greece rounds out the top 10 with a large, conscript-supported force, over 140,000 active. Focused on territorial defense. It operates Rafale jets, modern frigates, and submarines, while high defense spending, over 3% GDP, maintains one of Europe's densest military postures per capita, particularly in the Aegean. These rankings prioritize conventional warfighting potential in a European context, factoring in alliances like NATO, which amplifies collective strength for most except Russia. Nuclear capabilities, Russia, UK, France, add deterrence layers. Emerging trends include drone proliferation, cyber domains, and increased spending across the continent amid heightened security concerns. No single metric captures everything. Geography, alliances, and morale play roles, but GFP-style composites provide the most consistent benchmark.